what a thrilling journey when the phone rings has been. From its gripping mysteries to heart-pounding twists, the series kept viewers on the edge of their seats until the very end. A seamless mix of mystery, thriller, and romance, the show delivered everything fans hoped for, with Yoo Yeon Seok and Chae Soo delivering standout performances. The whole cast brought on their A-game. Psychopathic SaEon, however, stole the spotlight with his chilling portrayal of a deranged mind. Every storyline was wrapped up beautifully, giving our beloved couple the happy ending they deserved. SaEon finally got a beautiful name, Yoo-yeon, meaning, only love. But to avoid confusion, I'll continue to refer to him as SaEon. That said, was the Argan trip really necessary? Let's break it all down. SaEon stuck around to make sure HeeJoo was okay, then resigned as a spokesperson from the presidential office, donated his assets, and disappeared. I can't be the only one who found the Argan trip hilarious and unnecessary. Given, SaEon felt guilt that his biological father, the late chairman, was the architect of HeeJoo's sufferings. He had wanted to keep her safe, protected, and loved, but finding out Django's actions cost her her brother, voice, and dreams, he felt undeserving of her. But then, this doesn't make sense, he's not his father. You would think, he'd decide to devote himself to making amends, by loving her even more, not disappearing, causing her more pain. Furthermore, HeeJoo already knew of his father's involvement in the accident, but didn't blame him for it, but instead loved him. But somehow, SaEon decided he'd punish himself in a war zone, Argan. This ended up stealing their time together. I wonder how punishing himself for his father's sins would have made up for the past. But then, I guess the writer wanted to show the magnitude of HeeJoo's love for SaEon, that she'd go into a war zone to find him. Meanwhile, great attention was paid to details in the drama. SaEon had always loved HeeJoo, hence, his obsession with sunsets, as they reminded him of her. This was why he chose Argan, a place that had beautiful sunsets. Despite his disappearance, he was working his way back to her. In the hospital, he'd asked her to wait for him to find her, if he ever disappeared. But then, it's no longer all about him and his plans, as HeeJoo is now part of his life. Good thing they finally had a moment for themselves. Meanwhile, as expected, psychopathic SaEon met his end. He was obviously ready to go at the end of episode 11. He knew armed policemen surrounded them, but still raised his gun at SaEon, knowing he'd be gunned down. He witnessed what he wanted to see from SaEon, defeat. Despite his psychopathic nature, he led a sad life. I wonder how he would have turned out, if his parents and grandfather had sought professional help for him, instead of hiding him away from society. If they'd sought help when he killed animals, maybe, the kids at the orphanage wouldn't have died senselessly. But instead, the old man decided to eliminate his grandson, and replace him with his love child, ending up creating a cycle of pain and ruin. You could tell psychopathic SaEon had a weak spot for his mother, as if he craved love and attention. Meanwhile, Yoo sank a sinking ship to the bottom of the sea. She too had been a victim of the late chairman. But then, things would have panned out differently, had she made different choices. According to Yoo Yeon, she chose to be the chairman's daughter-in-law, over her son. This was why she accepted her son's death, and agreed to train SaEon into her son. However, finding out that the boy, whom she was raising in place of her son, was Django's infuriated her, which made her kill the unremorseful chairman, who was already at death's door. Things would have turned out differently, had she stopped her son, when she saw him at the late chairman's memorial service. She also had a second chance to turn things around, had she rescued her son, and returned HeeJoo to her husband or family. Instead, she decided to punish SaEon, who was also the late chairman's victim, just because he's Django's son. I lost empathy for her, when she ordered Butler Min to kill HeeJoo if something happened to her. At this point, she became her son's replica in the psychopathic department. It's unbelievable that she'd want to punish the SaEon, whom she'd raised as her own from a tender age, and to casually sanction HeeJoo's murder, all in the name of punishing a dead man. In the end, she lost her son for the second time, and wound up with a life sentence. Instead of seeking vengeance, she should have been grateful for the second chance to be with her son. Yoo Yeon, on the other hand, cared for nothing but the presidential race, which he lost in the end. He thought publicly disowning his father, and seeking redemption from the public would rid him of his involvement. In the end, the Baeks never produced a president. Fortunately, his psychopathic son had shot him in the arm, instead of shooting to kill. What's more, Sang-woo and Yuri are engaged to be married. This was a couple I was rooting for, as they're cute together. But then, we didn't see their feelings for one another grow. Their engagement was sprung on the viewers at the dying minute. Wish they had more screen time. Meanwhile, the Hungs finally gave HeeJoo and SaEon, who's now Yoo Yeon, their blessings. SaEon donated the 2 billion won in HeeJoo's name, for breaking their marriage contract, as he planned to divorce her. He didn't want to be married to her as Baek's SaEon, but as himself. They ended up getting married twice, and living in a different home. Here, you could see their love for one another all around. Unlike the huge, unfeeling place they'd lived in before. Ina finally did what she should have done at first, apologies to HeeJoo. I was miffed when she told a distraught HeeJoo to forget SaEon, despite knowing why he disappeared. HeeJoo chose love and forgiveness, relieving Ina of her guilt for turning a blind eye in the past. Just as the viewers had hoped, HeeJoo and SaEon had a moment to themselves. SaEon is determined to expand their family. As a sign language interpreter, HeeJoo returned to the broadcast station, Beautiful 360, for her first appearance in the series. What a nice closure. Meanwhile, SaEon went back to being a negotiator, working with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. I was happy to see Do-jae back at his side, working alongside him. He and reporter Hyuk-jin were SaEon's trusted friends. In fact, HeeJoo and SaEon found a new tribe for themselves. What's more, their last phone call was beautiful, parallel to their relationship. Truly, there's a couple here now. What are your thoughts about the ending? On a scale of 1 to 10, how will you rate the entire drama? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. If you liked this content, give it a like, share, subscribe, and turn on your notification bell for all things wonderfully K-drama. Thanks for watching, bye.